as a playback. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like button, give consideration to the subscribe button if this is your first time. Yes, it's been a while since we had content on here, so I'm back. It's a bit late now. Let's see who is online. If you're watching this for the first time, this is a segment called Say It Like It Is, where I basically talk about eclectic topics, and we also have a segment called Story Time, where people send their stories to my email address, foodchannel1960@gmail.com. The premise is so we can learn, and improve ourselves and move the Black community forward. All right. So if you have a trending topic, if you have something that has to do with you as a person, you feel free to send it to me. And then if you resonate with me, I will definitely talk about it. What's up, people? What's going on, man? What's up? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Great to be back, man. Adiola Ogunlaye, what's up, my bro? I've been away in motherland Africa, Nigeria to be precise. And what's up, Isla? Valerie, what's up? So it was in the month of July, it was my Ọdún Ifá, the celebration of a year after my Ifa initiation. So it's quite important for me to be away and go attend to that, get more fortification done, and it's very important if you're an Ifa initiate, as I am, to celebrate every year. There's a divination is done by the Ifa priest, and whatever Ifa wants in accordance with the celebration, you bring it forward, and then you venerate the relevant energies and deities and Ifa, and the premise of that is to strengthen you spiritually even more, fortify you even more, and it's an amazing experience. So I'm going to share a video with you. My wife also got initiated into the order of Oshun. So she's an Oshun initiate, Oshun and Obatala. So she had both of them done, and it was amazing. I've got video clips, so I'm going to share that with you. It's a fantastic experience, That's who we are, man. So first of all, apologies because I've been away for a while, and there's been mixed bag of where is Phrankleen, what happened, why is he not posting, and I just had so much going on, project management for some people running up and down, and then the whole Ifa festivities, and there's so many things I had to go through in terms of the celebration. African spirituality. Spirituality is not something just click the light off and on and stuff. You got to give time to things. So to be able to stay on top of doing videos out there, it was absolutely impossible at some point. So I knew I was coming back. But let me say this, please. Now, I'm only one person, okay? There are brothers and sisters who have pending, I use the word pending divinations with Phrankleen, Ifa divination. If you're watching me for the first time, I provide divination services, and I'm glad I can beat my chest that I've been able to help so many people recalibrate their lives, find direction, find answers to pressing questions and all that. Now, in the midst of all that, I'll be absolutely honest, I'm a spiritual person. I'll put my hand up if I've let you down. In the midst of that, I got bombarded, and I mean bombarded by so much. Help me do this, help me do that. And in the midst of all of that, at some point, as I said, I had to jump on the flight. I had to go and attend to my personal life. My wife had Oshun initiation to get done. There's so many preps, so many things. But I have a full record of the handful of people that have pending divinations and are waiting to hear from me. I am back now in this month of August. Every single person will respond. Now, there are some people, because they didn't hear from me, I think they've asked for refunds. You get your refunds. It's your money. You you have every right to, okay? But regardless of that, I would still explain myself to you, okay? So in fact, there's a truckload of emails. I only got back in like 2 days ago, and my boxes are still unpacked, and I'm just trying to settle back in and stuff like that. But I said tonight I have to come online, okay? But unreserved apologies to you if you've been waiting for a while. Emma Binu, okay? I'm your brother, I'm your friend. I have your best interest at heart. Take it as just a bit of a letdown in terms of administration, but I also hope that you would understand that I'm only human. You know, there's so much for me to do. My life is multifaceted, and then staying on top of everything, you know, and yeah. So I have to be fortified so I can face the things that I was called by the universe to do, so I can also be efficient for you wonderful people. So for those that are pending, please bombard me with emails regarding Ifa divinations that you're waiting for. If you have any questions, I'm back fully, and I will deal with the backlogs and I'll respond to everything. All right? Right. So how are you? How is everybody doing? I hope you're great. It's amazing. Now, just to see uh, if you if you're paying attention, can somebody tell me what the topic of the show is before I start the show officially? Okay. What's the title of the show? Oh, thank you. Somebody said I'm looking good. Yeah. The sun, the environment, the mental freedom. It's amazing. It's amazing. I was out there for like a month, and JJ Grady for you, spiritual limitations on my Yemen. I just want to make sure people are paying attention. If you can hear me, you can see me. Please smash the like button. Smash that like button. Thank you, Mo. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Now, beware of spiritual, limitations and gatekeeping within the Black community. So, I was going to talk about this very quickly. I'm going to give you live streams, shows back to back all through August, because I've been away for some time. And do you have a WhatsApp group? No, I don't. I don't. WhatsApp group. If I'm going to set up a group, maybe I'll do it on Telegram. Telegram allows you to have more people. WhatsApp with the phone numbers and all that stuff. It's a bit of a tricky one. Now, I'm talking about spiritual limitations and gatekeeping within the Black community. So before I went away, right, there were plenty of people when I was, when I started doing this divination services and going back and forth. And then what I learned in the 2 months of offering the divination services was actually mind blowing. And it's the fact that there were certain people, depending on who you are, maybe you're married, you're single, you're living with your parents and all that. But I'll give you a few snippets of things that happened, right? So there was a case of a lady that came to me for divination. So I passed it on to the Ifa priest, and she was asking particular questions around career and all that. Now, Ifa picked up certain things about this woman and said there was a spiritual attack from the mother side of the family. She needed to carry out appeasements and all that stuff. And the attack was quite imminent, and it was designed to put her in a quagmire of, you know, problems and absolutely obliterate her and all that. It was quite detailed. So I think she showed the divination outcome to her mom. Sometimes when you do get some findings, because I don't know who is behind the emails and stuff, I don't know you. So sometimes you try to write the words in such a way that people don't lose their cool, or they get, you know, especially if they're not used to divinations and stuff, they might not have that shock absorber and they might explode. Or, you know, people always ask questions, can you specify who exactly is behind my issues? And most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, people want to go rip some of this shit, and that's not what spirituality is about, right? The long and short of this story was her mother was at the center point of a problem spiritually. She's been marked from childhood. Àti kékeré ni ìyá ẹ̀ ti fi dájọ́, ló ti fàmì sí lára. Her mom has basically, so this woman is chained spiritually. That's why she's educated, has 2 master's degree here in the UK, multiple professional qualifications, but her life is like fetching water with a basket, if you know what that means. And just ups and downs, no fulfillment, no specific achievement. She's just jumping from pillar to post and things like that. Now, unbeknown to her, she showed the outcome of the divination to her mom. And because she had said to me via email, "Hi Franklin, can I have your phone number so I can give you a call and discuss my divination?" I had given her my phone number, right, via email. So I think her mom was able to get my number. And I remember that day I was preparing to go to Nigeria, right? I was in somewhere in central London. I was shopping, last minute buying some tops and things like that to put in my luggage. And then my phone rang and I stepped out of the shop because it was quite noisy. And then it was the lady's mom. A boy, so I said, a boy, Boshisha, you know, so, oh, is this Mr. Phrankleen? I didn't know who he was. I said, yes, speaking. So now she was like, kilo koyin be gongo. Kini tinyi gongo. Kilo koyin. Ta lo ran yin níṣẹ́. If you don't understand Yoruba, she was saying, what is your business? Just basically, it wasn't like the conversation started off like that. She just went bang. What is your business? What is your own in trying to undo blah, 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 blah. So I said, who is this? Who am I talking to? Tani Mombasoro and all that. She was very aggressive over the phone. Kilo koimbe. So at first she was like, Kilo koimbe. And then she was like, Kilo koimbe. I was like, who is this? Who are you? And then she was like, oh yeah, you gave divination outcome to so and so person who is my daughter. So as soon as I heard the name, I clocked straight away. So I said, okay, first of all, in terms of client confidentiality, you know, data protection, I'm not going to carry on with this conversation and discuss details of that divination. I don't have any dealings with you. The person that came to me, she's an adult, blah, blah, blah. I was speaking English. So I heard the lady's voice in the background. She was, oh, Franklin, hi, I'm sorry. It's me, such and such and such. You know, my mom wants to speak to you. So I was like, really? So you asked your mom to call me? She was like, no, I didn't ask her to speak to you in a rude manner, blah, blah, blah. She just wanted to ask questions. I said, no, your mom's not asking questions. Your mom's basically has issues with the fact that you're trying to find spiritual remedies to break free from the spiritual limitations. So the lady was just, you know, I expected her to take charge. So I asked her, so why did you give the divination to your mom? You know, so the long and short of what I picked from that is this woman's mom has a hold on her. And she told me she's a 34-year-old. You know, the point I'm trying to make is I had to do some checks myself afterwards, and I understood who the mom is spiritually and what was going on. And she was very aggressive. What's your business? Why are you getting involved? And quite confrontational, aggressive over the phone. And I said, please give the phone to your daughter, blah, 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 blah. And the lady was just like, Franklin, I'm sorry. My mom, I discussed the divination, and she was just like, oh, don't speak to him anymore and all that stuff. And so, I was just like, right, okay, no problems. I'll send you an email. So I sent her a lengthy email, take charge of your life, blah, blah, blah. I haven't heard back from her since. There are multiple things like that. I've had husbands intercepting wives' divination outcomes that has nothing to do with them. And when you check even further, you find out that those people actually had something sinister going on against the partner in the background. And they realize that they've been exposed. So they run from pillar to post and try to, somebody say, is it okay to do that in Ifa divination? Um, it's your life, innit? You're not, except if it's somebody you trust, divinations are unique to you. If it's like a couple and things like that, there is no bias in Ifa, African spirituality, the practice of Ifa. Whatever the divination picks, it's all spiritual, don't forget. It will get unpacked. So even I've had a situation where husband and wife, they paid me for divination, and this is one of the ones that stuck with me. The they were basically trying to find out about moving from Nigeria to Canada with their children and some other things to do with their marriage. And the divination outcome was the woman, if she relocates to Canada, would do well with her children. But the husband, if he goes to Canada with her, will end up impregnating another woman and abandoning this woman with two children. She didn't ask me questions if she didn't ask Ifa questions if her husband was going to be faithful or blah blah blah. No, they were finding out if relocating to Canada would be good for them as a family, if they were going to be prosperous in Canada, if Canada was going to be compatible with them, spiritually. And Ifa unpacked the fact that the woman, if she remains in Nigeria, would do very well. If she goes to Canada, she would do very well with her two children. But her husband, in less than 2 years, will get someone else pregnant, will move on with that new woman. So what do you think I had to do? And one thing that I do, because what I do is based on purity and honesty. Your divination is unique to you. It's got nothing to do with me. So I wouldn't tamper with anything. It has spiritual implication if you try to distort people's truth. I would never do that. So I'll just give it to you hot as it is. Now, this type of info, if I gives, can separate families. If it separate your family, so be it. There's no bias, there's no sentiment. And I like your comment because humans, we are neck deep in sentiment. We don't like the truth. We like to trim the truth. We like to edit the truth. We like to limit it. Okay? If you're saying separate families, no. If I wouldn't break a true, genuine union, if you are compatible with your husband or your wife, you can't. You understand? So you can't be saying if I would break families. A woman, pay attention to this. If you were that woman, what would you do? Would you appreciate it or not? She paid me for divination and she said, Franklin, please help us look into this situation. Myself, my husband, and two young children are contemplating on moving to Canada. She Canada magbiwa. Show oriwa babemu. Is that environment going to be, compatible for us in terms of success and fulfillment and stuff? That was the question. And I passed it on to the priest. And the priest said, divined, and it came back to me and said, tell the woman if she chooses to remain in Nigeria, she will make it. If I said there is prosperity ahead, she'll be absolutely fine. If she goes to Canada, she would do well in Canada. The location aligns with her spiritually, but her husband will end up impregnating another woman. He will end up dumping that woman and moving on with the new woman. So, do you think I should hide that from the woman? If you were that woman, would you want to be told or not? What happens, how she deals with it, is none of my business. I'm not responsible for that. I would tell you your truth. Because if I get emotionally attached, unnecessarily attached to other people's spiritual journey and their life, and I start to tamper with the details of their outcome, it's very dangerous. It's absolutely deadly. To remove or to add, it's not my place. Ifa doesn't separate families. Thank you. It doesn't. Basically, Ifa tells you divination outcomes. How you process the outcome is up to you. There was a woman that they said, oh, you're not compatible with your husband. I mean, the man you're contemplating on marrying. And she got angry with me via email. How can you say that? I've known this guy for 4 years. I don't know you. I've never met you. I don't know what you look like. The divination is pure. It's spiritual. So there is no compatibility. Once you have a couple of kids, the man will move on. She didn't want to hear it. And then she got angry. She started calling me names. I just blocked the email address. If you like, go and marry him. That's your life. But you would remember someday in the future that you were told. So back to the point. There was another case where people who have, I'm not going to name anybody, but pay attention to this. I've had series of observations and it's amazing. It's mind-blowing. Somebody has a major problem and we had to do appeasement and all that stuff, yeah? And somebody within their family, they knew that that person had done something spiritually and they went to confront them physically. You know, imagine you do an appeasement because you have issues in your life spiritually, and the appeasement is to break the bondage and to remove the negative markings in your life and to help you forge ahead. And then somebody discovers spiritually, how come Ifa never foresaw? Ifa doesn't foresee like that, okay? Religion and all that, I'll respond to that in a moment, okay? It's a very ignorant question, but I'll respond to that. Before I lost the train of my thoughts, that person saw they've been touched spiritually, if you know exactly what I'm saying. They confronted this person because this person sent me an email and said, Phrankleen, after you'd done the appeasement, I sent them the appeasement videos and all that via WhatsApp. And then this person went to challenge them. He's a member of their family, some elderly woman, and said, what is it that you are doing? This. Oh, you've drawn the battle line. They made threats and all that. So this guy was terrified. And then there was additional work done for them. And this person blew it up when the family tried to lie that this man was attacking her, trying to kill her off and all that stuff. So there are issues of parents. I've had about 4 parents send me emails and telling me that these parents actually belong in certain fraternities. I'm not going to name them, but they confronted me via email that why am I, it's always, why are you getting involved? There was an elderly man, who do you think you are? Do you know who you're dealing with? Blah, blah, blah. You can't touch me. And you do follow me. and you do Olodumare, emi atun wa se. You can't touch me. What's amazing is you can try. So far, the services we are offering to people is based on purity. Lori oto. We are fine. Yeah, I know. Captain Sandsman, you know, about all these people making threats. The point I'm trying to make with this short live stream tonight is for people to be aware there is an imminent, deeply rooted spiritual limitation in the black community. A lot of you don't even know this. That's why if you've been watching me for a minute, I keep saying it, that 99.9% of the spiritual problems and limitations that people deal with, they emanate from your bloodline, from your mother's side or your father's side. In fact, sometimes a combination of both sides. Sometimes it might even be from your in-laws, spiritual handshake with the ones from your side of the family. And there are so many spiritual gatekeepers, and I mean, you know, evildoers, spiritual gatekeepers who don't do anything. The black race is dealing with so much. Physically speaking, in the physical realm, we're not loved. We are detested around the world. Every day, for example, for those that live in the diaspora, you deal with microaggression, racism, discrimination, all sorts, profiling, glass ceiling, metal ceiling, all forms. You have that to deal with, right? Racial profiling, police unfairly targeting you, all sorts of things. School to prison pipeline in the children's schools, all sorts. But I'm talking spiritually. You see, as I gain more knowledge in this pathway, I was having this conversation with my wife a while back. There are hierarchies of limitations in Africa in the spiritual realm. So, as a black person, to excel, the only way out is African spirituality. The only way forward is to align spiritually. The spiritual limitation is the hardest, and plenty of black lives are withering away like autumn leaves, are being suppressed, chained. A lot of black lives experience artificial pathways. You understand me? Yes, sir, Mr. Ogunleye. You have to be helping people spiritually comes with ups and downs. You have to be fortified to undertake such battle. Of course, you have to. Go easy, oh. Go easy. Ikalupoj. I'm an emancipator. That's what I was called to do by the universe. But there is so much evilness in the black community. I haven't got words to. I'm a bit of a wordsmith, but the evilness. Let's not even talk about the oppressors that we normally talk about. Put them on the shelf for a moment. I'm talking within Africa now, within the black community, the spiritual limitations. Because you see, the worst thing that can happen to you is as soon as you come out as a baby, you arrive to this planet, right? And as soon as you arrive, just imagine that they've already put a spiritual limitation on the child. They create an artificial pathway to distort your pathway in life. And this is the story for so many. When I was in Nigeria, I remember one night I was socializing with a couple of friends. We were just having pepper soup and just having a good time. And this guy said something very profound about how if I look at Africa, forget diaspora, like Nigeria, for example, I'm not even talking about the governmental problems and all that. No, there are so many lives in Africa. If you look at families, you see guys, men in their 40s, women in their 30s, they are chained spiritually. They are some of the best minds and brains, but for them to enjoy fulfillment, they have been limited right from when they were born, brought into human existence. So a lot of people are pushed into the pathway of religiosity, which ensures that you are spiritually limited and or naked. You understand? Now, for the most part, most people, you're trying your best, you're trying to be somebody in life. It could be a family of 5 siblings, and they've created they've created this artificial pathway for you. They've limited you. I know you people are just existing. People are in survival jobs, totally different pathway. And for the past 2-3 months that I've started providing divination services, when I look at outcomes, they are mind blowing. And I have this conversation with my wife sometimes, like, man, how come you see somebody that's meant to be an Oshun priestess or even an Ifa priest, somebody that's meant to excel in the field of agriculture or like farming, and they are here in the UK somewhere working as a caregiver, washing the butt cheeks of elderly white folks. They're working somewhere as a security guard, piling on shopping baskets every 30 minutes in the shopping mall, and they've managed to convince themselves that that's in fact their reality. All they are waiting for now, as they move into the evening part of their life, is how they get their so-called pension credit from the states. They're dependent on bi-weekly supply of their medications because they got diabetes and arthritis now. Thank you, Mr. Agulaya, for the super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. And this is the story of so many. Wọ́n ti gbà wọ́n ní àkókò. And it's I wish I've got the metaphysical or supernatural power to hit on a giant reset button or recalibration button for so many lives. I wish I can show you some divination outcomes. It's jaw-dropping. There is a gentleman, I remember before I picked up my bags to go to Nigeria, he paid for divination. And I remember sat down looking at that divination before I sent it to him. It's shocking. Ifa said his father died about 15 years ago. The guy in 2022 is a 44-year-old man. Ifa said his father tapped into his spiritual essence Baba eti lo aisikie from when he was a 3-year-old boy. As a child, you're vulnerable, you are fully dependent on your parents, right? His father had used him as a sort of spiritual springboard. Ó ti fi ṣàtẹ̀gùn láti kékeré. Bàbá ẹ̀ ti lo àìsíkí ẹ̀. So everything that this guy puts his hand on, you can tell he's educated, he has tried his best, and he wrote so much in the email complaining about lack of fulfillment. He's unable to keep a job for so long. Something mysterious would happen. They will flush him out of employment. He has gotten to a point of he's just mentally caved in. Do you understand? It's like, what is wrong with me? And I'm all right, man. I went to Africa. Sonny T, my brother. And there are plenty of stories like this. You see, when I talk about spiritual recalibration, if you get the chance to at least be able to start afresh and start to put the pieces back together spiritually, and you get emancipated and illuminated, and you are able to find spiritual remedies, maybe through Ifa divination and Etutus and all that stuff, right? And you are able to then start retracing your steps and recalibrating your life, at least you stand a chance that, you taste that fulfillment and prosperity as you should. How about those people that never get the chance? Not because they were wrong, but they have been spiritually chained from birth. Even there are cases of babies in pregnancy before they were even born. What if Bawaleon? So adult life is in fact littered with unimaginable amount of complexity and complications. I'm telling you, man. Prayer, fasting can break every limitation and spiritual embargo. That's a lie. Please, we don't do that here. I'm not going to block you. This is not a Christian channel. That's a big lie. If you are reliant on the religion of the invaders to break spiritual limitations, that's another trap in itself. That's another deadly icing on your deadly cake of limitations, if I can say that. I've been there. I was born into religiosity. I was born into it. I grew up in it. I tell you for free. Okay? I tell you for free. The worst thing that can happen to any human is, and this is the worst part of it, when you have that thing in you, when your ori, your inner man starts to tell you that there's something wrong with my life, but you can't put your hand on it. The worst part is when you go to religious charlatans. Some of you know this already. They will tell you A to Z of what they can see. A lot of them, I've said this before, I'll say it again. They are spiritual gatekeepers. They are very deadly. They will tell you that they can identify XYZ that's wrong with your life. They will amplify the delivery of that information. Your heart starts to beat. You will be like, oh, wow. It's from your father's side. It's from your mother's side. They will amplify the delivery of that information. You are quavering in fear. You want to break free. But what they do is, Yeti, my email address is foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Food channel, I'm going to change that email address soon. 1960@gmail.com. All right. Now, what you will find is a lot of them are gatekeepers. They will take your money. They will identify the problem. They will get you going mentally. Your blood is up and down now. But they will never hand you spiritual remedy. They will never. They will milk you financially. They will never help you to get spiritual remedy. The chains of limitation, in fact, some of them will ensure that they lock you down even further. Why do they do that? You may want to ask. Okay, Phrankleen, I get the gist. But why do they do that? It's very simple. I've said it before, I'll say it again. A lot of them, they belong in fraternities. I'll tell you anyway. They belong in fraternities that work in connivance with those ones that fly the skies, if you understand what I'm saying. So if you're working in connivance with the people in charge of Mr. X or Mr. Y's spiritual limitation, you cannot give remedy to that person. You dare not dip your toes in that water. So if I belong, hypothetically speaking, if I belong in some dark energy, right, and I work in connivance with the mothers that fly the skies, you understand? Now, it would be my job would be to act as a spiritual gatekeeper. So every every person that comes to me, as soon as you can see, you dare not remove the chain. It's the order of things. So you just communicate back spiritually, or you ensure if that person had 2 chains locking them down, you make sure you add 10 chains to the 2 chains, lock them down even further, bombard them with further spiritual complications whilst you bid them goodbye. And then you send signal to your counterparts in the clouds. Does that make sense? That's why people go from pillar to post, they spend money, they go to these charlatans. They would never help you. Can't we say the same thing with a Babalawo? Just curious. Oh, I've said that before. Let me tell you the truth. You are absolutely right. I don't do bias, by the way. I will give it to you straight. That's why we call this segment Say It Like It Is. There are plenty of Babalawos out there, Ifa priests, that are dubious as hell. Because I'm talking about spiritual limitations in Africa, right? So connect the dots. Most people, Ogun delay, Ogun, whatever it is that's dealing with you, when you connect the dots, when you trace it back, there is some problem spiritually, right? So Babalawos, Ifa priests, they have metaphysical powers. They can see, they can look into your past, they can see into your future. That's what they were called to do. Fact. Now, this is why I always explain to people, Ifa divination, the divination system under Ifa is absolutely pure. It doesn't lie. You can't outdo it. It's 100% pure, honest. The problem is the human medium that's attached to the Ifa divination system. Do you understand? Because you need a Babalawo to activate the divination system, to be the medium between you and the energies governing the universe, right? Do you understand? So there is a high possibility that you fall into the hands of very dubious Ifa priests. So they can see the problems. What they are meant to do is to sit you down and say, okay, I've identified this, we're going to do this appeasement. Arubo, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, right? But if they have a concealed interest, so what do I mean by a concealed interest? If they have connivance with the ones with the dark energies, like I said earlier, if they have a pact with them, they are duty bound to inflict you with further spiritual complications or complexities. So they would never give remedy. They will give you all the acrobatics and all the stuff, and they will thank you, Naomi. Àwọn babaláwo tó ti gba body. Thank you. That's the way you say it in Yoruba. They will give you all the spiritual acrobatics, and you'll be filled with fear, and you'll be panicky, you're desperate, you're vulnerable now. They love it when you are mentally and spiritually vulnerable, because that's when they can fleece you even more financially. They will take advantage of that, and they will manipulate you, and then it will get to a point where your brain will come alight and you realize that I'm just rigmaroling, going around in circles, and I think I'm getting even more complication. I'm getting nothing out of this. And by that time, they would have fleeced you, compounded your problem, and then you probably just give up, try somebody else, and it's you. But if you come across a genuine Ifa priest, you would understand, appreciate what I'm saying to you tonight, that Ifa is powerful. Because a genuine Ifa priest is not thinking of circumventing the due process. It's not thinking of manipulating you or concealing important information about your life or trying to distort your divination outcomes. Or, for example, I'll give you an example. In the world of Ifa, like naturally in the wider context of the society, in our black community, there's a lot of women, females. In Yoruba, they will say alaje. I'll give you an example. That's somebody who has a universal data set. Orito gbewaye alaje ni, aje olokun, like somebody who, it's got like a cheat code. She's like a walking, spiritual, walking treasure box, right? Women like that. If they marry a man, their spirit, because of who they are spiritually, they might not even know themselves. If they bond emotionally, the fact that they're just making love to that man and being with that man, they would spiritually, naturally, in the order of things, they will pull that man up, enable him to excel. Torí alájẹ ni wọ́n. Tó má fara nù ẹ́, they will, your life, ayé ẹ máa gbéra. Do you understand? That's why women like that, you have to be absolutely careful. A lot of women are walking around, they are alaje, right? Now, if you go in front of a dubious Ifa priest and they can see you, the ones that are very dubious would want to take advantage of you spiritually. They would want to use you as a springboard that would tap into your essence. In fact, some of them might even go as far as, wanting to befriend you. They would manipulate you spiritually to try to bed you. Because there is, forgive me, but I'm not going to go into that tonight. There is an energy, in vaginal energy, that is attached to the essence of a woman. The planet we live in is actually controlled by female energy, in case you don't know. But have used patriarchy to distort our minds. That's a conversation for another day. This universe is controlled by female energy, and you cannot outdo female energy. The female energy is powerful. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. But the society has lied to us that, patriarchy and all that, they've just hijacked, they're running it with toxicity. But in the spiritual form of things, thank you, Red Pill, for the super chat. Thank you. From a spiritual standpoint, the female energy governs this planet. And this is not about simping. For those that have the brain of a fish, those guys, they will think, oh, Frankleen's pandering. No. It's not about pandering to women. I'm just telling the truth. You are absolutely right. I've had fake Babalao before. Meeting a genuine one changed my existence, freed me, set me on path of miraculous financial blessings that I never heard in 30 years. Thank you, my brother. Trust me. If you experience the true essence, the trueness, of Ifa, my goodness, the only regret I have, if I'm being honest, is I wish I had known this way of life years before now. There is nothing. If I'm dealing with you as an individual and you're talking to me about business, hypothetically speaking, Franklin, let's do this together. I'll divine. I'll just check. Everything about your mindset will be unpacked. It's pure. It's powerful. We have been severely damaged in Africa, in the black community. It's unbelievable. African spirituality. Boy. This idea, it's demonic, it's more. You can see your life in black and white. You can see everything. The worst part, one of the worst things that can happen to you as a human being, the evil ones, right? They rob you of time. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. They create a fake pathway for you to distort you from your true essence, and they will rob you of time. So sometimes before you realize that, wait, what? I'm just wasting my time dancing around on this planet, and you might be in your 40s already. You might be in your late 30s. You might even be in your 50s. And time is something that we can't reverse. So imagine a child that was born into this universe, that was meant to perhaps excel in the medical line, maybe like be a medical doctor or even a herbalist, somebody that treats people and looks after people. Your universal data set, Orie, or aligns with being in the medical field, a nurse, a doctor, treating people and stuff. And then you're here in England, you're in the US, you're working as a security guard. You have a glorified job sitting behind a desk somewhere, working as a glorified administrator. You're somewhere working as a caregiver. You're somewhere in a totally different pathway. You know there's a gaping hole in your life that spiritually and even physically, in all facets of your life, you lack fulfillment. Your life is like being trapped in a tumble dryer. That's why. Some of you, like I was saying about the spiritual limitations, the reason why some people, it's almost impossible to break free. Think about it. The people that, you're an adult now, you might even have gray hair. But when you were born, or even before you were born, yeah. You can send me, Sophia, you can send me an email about divinations. I can help you with that. Before you were born, they knew you. They knew you. They saw you. They saw you as a baby. When you were born, they can see you. They already pegged you down spiritually. So the worst part is some of you might be running from pillar to post, going to some church, some mosque, praying, looking for the way out. And that person that's in the background, that's following you everywhere in the name of they're helping you, might be your mother. It might even be your father. Imagine in a case where your father was the one that tampered with you, or sometimes your father and mother are both involved in your spiritual limitation. And they are the same persons taking you to the mountain to pray, going to see that person. It's all drama. It's all scripted, because psychologically you're looking at them, and then you're believing mommy is supporting me, and my dad is trying his best. It's all drama. And they will ensure that they are in charge of everywhere and anywhere you turn to, so that you remain blindfolded and limited to mafi kudana. I'm telling you the truth. These spiritual limitations that's keeping down multitudes in Africa is mind-blowing. It's mind freaking blowing. They will attack you in the physical realms psychologically to your face and tell you you're a never to do well type. You're in your 40s, you got nothing to show for it. Oh, look at you, you're a 40-year-old, you're still living with me. I'm in my pension years. I'm the one feeding you. You're not even married. You have no kids. There's nothing about your career, nothing to write home about. You're banging your head against the wall. You're frustrated. Meanwhile, the same people that are attacking you are actually the ones involved in your limitations. Do you see the layers of complexity that a lot of people, the layers of quagmire that people are trapped inside? You don't understand. This is why I say to some people, another thing that's really bad is so many black folks really don't understand the true workings of this universe. Phrankleen, do you have any of the Book of Ifa remaining? Yes. If you're interested in buying Ifa books, send me an email. I have 5 copies left. 5 copies left. Okay. It has English and Yoruba translation, which is fantastic. Somebody said something. Why can't we have ethical approach that prevents people from doing bad to African traditions? It's human nature, sadly. Why don't they want you to be spiritually okay? Ah, I like that, Isaiah. Let me respond to that. No, it's fine, Isla. So you send me an email, okay? If you're interested in the Ifa books, I've still got 5 copies left. So yeah, why don't they want you? You cannot be, because it's counterproductive. So when somebody taps into your essence, your ori, as we say in Yoruba, I seek here, okay? They've tapped into your spiritual essence to elevate themselves, to gain unscrupulous wealth and prosperity, to get ahead in life. They have chained you, they have limited you spiritually. And again, some of the reasons why they limit you spiritually is because a lot of the ones in these, most of these families, they fly the skies, you know the ones that fly the skies, like I say. I like to put it that way. So they belong in those dark gatherings, and they have, in a sense, donated you spiritually. So they must carry on working to keep you limited. All right? Okay, Cardi B, I'll look into the email and respond. So that's why. So because if I'm limiting someone, it's counterproductive for me to be trying to also help that person to get out of the limitation. So the question is, what's the point of limiting them? It's only been 1 week. I'll respond to you. Can some things be prevented after Ifa has revealed? It can. Of course it can. The essence of Ifa, divinations and all these things, sometimes, if you have complexity, you'll be asked to do appeasement, which is a boriru and all these things, to break the chains and do things to break you free. Sometimes it might just be a piece of information on how to recalibrate your life. It depends. Everyone's situation is unique to them. So back to my point, there are plenty of spiritual gatekeepers, and it's not limited to parents alone. It could be siblings, cousins, aunties. Just look at the family tree. Sometimes as you go through life, some people may be lucky. You come through families where you don't even have that problem. And then as you go through life, you might be through your workplace, it might be through your gatherings, social gatherings and stuff. There are so many people around with dark energies. That's why you have to be spiritually fortified. You see, this is on me. This is what we call Ideifa. Isheni to lágbára gidi. Ideifa. I have one for my neck. I'll show you. Me, I didn't go to Nigeria to play. So here's this one. Here is this. If you're interested, you can contact me. So I wear this around my neck. You see this? So once you shares in it, this is part of it, Ideifa. You can have your own, women can have your own. But this is a canal, Ikefa, that they drilled a hole into. So this was soaked into spiritual herbs and all that for days, and a lot of work was done by the Ifa priest and all that. So this, as you see, is not just a necklace. What does that do? It fortifies you spiritually. Ideifa, it's very powerful. Please send me an email about, I've just brought this out of my bag, and hope you've known some Oduifa. Yes, now I'm learning, of course. Yes, I know this neck stuff, powerful, good. So you know what I'm saying, right? So this one is like permanently on my wrist. It doesn't come off, okay? So do you now fly like Harry Potter? Stop it, man. What's wrong with you? Harry Potter call. Harry Styles, okay? Yeah. Send me an email. Is it Ituare and stuff. So if you're interested, do you actually wear that on your neck everywhere you go? Shegun Lamidi. Yeah. You can put it in your shirt if you want. If you're a lady, you can put it in your blouse. Or do I wear this? I don't care. I walk in my truth. If you are a pure person, you know, if I'm wearing, people wear necklaces even for just for fashion all the time. And why should you bother? You should know, if you've been watching me for a minute, you should know Phrankleen doesn't care about opinions and, you know, preconceived notions and what people feel like. This is unique to me. Phrankleen has been away for more than a month. Frank, I can't. Mostly, please send me an email. I can't talk about pricing now. You see this? Can you see? So if you want it, you see this. Where's the camera? You see, this is a canal, right? This is what you call ikinfa. Okay, so a lot of work goes into the spiritual work, and it's not like only any of this nonsense where somebody just put out beads. They have thousands of it and they're selling it. No, it's unique to you. It is unique to you, okay? Because when they divine, what Mr. X needs is different from what Mrs. Y needs, because we are spiritual beings. Ori yatos, ori. Do you understand? So, do you wear that ever? Oh, you went home. I'm happy you are okay. Yeah, I went home. How much is a hand bracelet and how can I get it in Nigeria? Send me an email, foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Look in the description. You should find my email address. You know, send me an email and then I'll reply to you. I promise. Or if you're just joining us, let me just say this. Pending divinations and all that, I would deal with everything in this month of August. I promise, okay? Forgive me. You have the right to be mad at me if I've delayed you a bit and stuff. I had to go away. It was my Ifa festival, Ifa celebration, which is a yearly celebration of my Ifa initiation. And my wife had to do Oshun initiation. I'm going to share videos about that. You see my wife. Some of you might have seen video clips on Instagram. You see my wife Oshun initiation or Batala initiation, and it was quite an experience. It's quite an experience. So yeah, you know, and it's lovely. It's amazing to have a lovely wife who is on the same spiritual page. It's amazing. I need a divination, how to pay. Send me an email. I will respond to you, Frank. Okay, I will do. If you're interested in divination. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. That you need to be aware. The spiritual limitation and the daily works of the gatekeepers within the black community is crazy. It's the same thing. That's why you have a truckload of people who are abroad with zero fulfillment. I'm waiting to demole. Boye. My guy, I see you, Mr. Bello himself. What's up, brother? Abina Ifa is the way of life, man. You get me? So, yeah. There's just too much wickedness, man. So, bro, if it's unique to you, are you selling it? No, I'm not. It's unique to me. I'm showing you mine. So if you want, yours will be done for you. And I'll tell you the price. Does that make sense? I'm not selling this. This is mine. I can't sell it. Demilele. These was soaked into a lot of, stuff. It's to wade off. So let me give you a little snippet. The soap that I use to have my bath, Oshe Fani. So it's fortification all around. Oh, Turale. You can call me crazy. I'm walking in my truth. There's a woman that watches me here. She's based in the States. What happens if it gets lost or stolen? Who's going to steal it? In fact, I want you to steal it. You know, you steal it. Your life will implode if you steal it. But if I misplace it, that's not going to happen. But to respond to you, if I misplace it, I'll speak to my priest and they can kill off the bead, again, another one done for me. Do you understand? But that somebody sees it and decides to steal it. In fact, Ifa would unpack who might have stolen it. Or the mafuri kononi. Why would you do that? What do you want to derive from stealing that? Of all the things you could steal, you want to steal this? You steal fire. Yeah, I do thank you so much. I thank you too. So yeah, spiritual limitations. It's crazy. There was a gentleman on the last note. I remember this one that told me. It was based on money. His father was asking for about $400 a month, and he told his dad, "The dad, I can't afford $400, right? I can only give you $150." Did you hear what I said? He's in the States, he's struggling, and the dad said, "If you don't give me $400 a month, I will show you what I'm made up of." So in the moment of having a heated exchange, he asked his father, "What do you mean?" The father said, "I brought you into existence. I can snuff your life out like a candle." Did you hear what I said? His biological father, very confrontational, said it to his face 3 times. He said, "I will show you that I have the ability to snuff you out like a candle, and I don't even need to touch you." So he came up to me. He told me this via email. "My dad said this because of money." Yeah, because this is the vindictiveness. He got really vindictive, and he felt the need to carry out a retaliatory action because his son said no to him. I just told him that I'm not going to get involved in all that family complexity. I'm used to those stories. Fortify yourself spiritually. And I helped him to do that. When they carried out divination, hand on my heart, yeah? No word of lie. I didn't even say anything to my Ifa priest. I just said, "This guy has concerns within the family, blah, blah, blah." He told me straight that the guy's father has already taken some actions. He's demanded that the guy gets snuffed out. This is some of the things that you will see happen in Africa. People have died. They are dead and gone. They've left this planet out of just pure vindictiveness. Not because the person that died was a bad person. People are just so evil, they're possessed. Some of you, because you dare to look at your mother in the eyes and say, "No, I'm an adult now. This is my life." You know this eminimo beer. Like we say in Yoruba, "I give birth to you," you would do as you're told, even though you're in your 40s now. And when you say, "No, mom, this is how I want to live my life," unfortunately, it's a prevalent behavior in Africa. There's no middle ground. A lot of them don't have critical thinking. So they just go from 0 to 100. We don't use the term biblical here. I'm not a Christian. So what does biblical even mean? It's irrelevant on this platform. They'll go from 0 to 100. And what they normally do is to take you out, or they will sabotage your life. They'll make sure they run spiritual attack against your finance, job losses, ashisheli by or sometimes they can bend the energy of the universe against you. You can get caught up in ghastly accidents. They can kill you off. They can attack your child just to get at you. I'm telling you now. So most people, the reason why a lot of lives get clamped down, most people are spiritually naked. And one of the reasons why there is a driving force behind religiosity in Africa is they prefer you to remain naked. If you turn to Ifa, or you carry out divinations, or you're doing things along African spirituality, the moment you find family members that develop unnecessary headache about your choices as an adult, and they start to talk about, "Oh, you're not a Christian, you were born into Christianity. Oh, how dare you practice Ifa? How dare you this?" Go and check properly. They are probably behind your spiritual limitation up until that point. They know now that Otilaje Sarah, you got spiritual vaccination now. You are spiritually vaccinated. You are fortified. So they know that the arrows are going to look in their direction. Do you understand? They know that you're going to get emancipated both mentally and spiritually. They know that you're more than likely going to see them for who they really are. So they panic. Some of them, they quickly go and make demands to snuff you out. This thing goes really deep. I told you since I started the divination, I had a bunch of folks, man, contacting me. How can you say to someone, kilo coin? So it tells you that person has a concealed interest in the person's life. They need them to remain chained and blind. Are there elf priests? I think you wanted to type Ifa priest. There should be. There should be. But I don't know any ones. The best place for me, if you want to enjoy Ifa, African spirituality, is Motherland Africa. It's raw in Nigeria. It's raw. It's in its true form. You can have access to anything you want. Like this. You can't get this done in the UK. Never. Ferdy, you can't get this done. Who's going to do this for you in the UK or the US? You have to go home. Or I can make demands, get them to do it, and then we bring it here. Africa is a bedrock of problems. It's also a bedrock of blessings. It's a mixed bag of both. So yeah, that's my message for tonight. It's good to be back. If you're interested in divinations and all that, bang me an email. If you have any pending things that you're meant to get from me, bang me an email. Like I said before, I'm back fully. Any questions, emails, all the backlogs, I will jump on them aggressively and respond to everybody within the confines of this month. Whatever you need, holla at your boy. If you have stories for me that are pending that you want to talk to me about, let me know. All right, I'm back now, man. Yeah, I'm back. I just sent you an email now. I'll have a look, Frank. Sophia, I'll have a look at the emails, okay? Thank you for the super chat. If you're interested in the Ifa book, I have 5 copies. Bang me an email, okay? And yeah, I'll get it sorted. So I've written to you and we'll be making predestination payment this month. Welcome back, our free Ituare. Thank you very much. So thank you very, very much. It's nice to be back. And apologies, I went quiet for weeks. Where some people were even saying, Phrankleen, somebody sent me an email. Phrankleen, I hope you're alive. I hope that no, I'm okay. I'm alive and well. I'm absolutely fine. I had a lot of amala, ewedu gbegiri, ẹja kíká, pepper soup, and it was a good time, man. The mental freedom, man, in Africa is amazing. Regardless of the bumpy roads and epileptic electricity supply, for me, no place like home. And that's where I'm going to end at some point in future, in the not so distant future. foodchannel1960@gmail.com. foodchannel1960@gmail.com. That's my email address. Look at my description area below, okay, and you see my email address. Or you follow me on Instagram at Phrankleen, as it's spelled on YouTube, okay, and I'll get back to you. So thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. But this month, I'll bombard you with content. I promise. Back-to-back content, okay? Back-to-back content. If you have any trending topics, if there's any video you want me to react to or comment and stuff, yeah, Isla, come on, man. Please stop all these mouth-watering delicacies. My stomach is growling. So, yeah, if you have any trending topics and all that, bang me an email and let me see. Can I ask Ifa for help for someone else? Of course, you can. Yes, you can, Cardi B. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the very next one. Peace and love.